I Looks like a full house tonight.
Yeah.
Did we grab that clipboard?
Thank you, Mary.
Did everyone who's wanting to speak sign in?
Okay, there you go. You're good.
Thank you. Kyle's here for Tom with the fire department, so he might not want to speak, but he just signed it.
Oh, you signed the book?
Thank you. Sing a song. Right?
Yeah.
Tap dance.
That's it.
Ready?
I think so.
Hey, if you stand, we're going to have the pledge and a short devotion. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Lord, for keeping our employees safe as they went through this harsh weather, and our residents. We thank you for this warmer weather coming and pray that you keep guiding us in the right way. Amen. I heard possible 40 within the next 2 days. I am not a cold weather person, so.
Time to warm up.
Do you have any changes to the agenda, Mr. Barry?
I just have some additions at the fire, just a report out from the conference. And that's it for me.
Okay. And then I also want to say something under old business on the park, Sukas Park. And then I also announced that Mr. Pirro is out this evening. He won't be here. So with that, have you had a chance to read the minutes from February 2nd, which was a rescheduled meeting for us?
Trustee Varian moves to accept as presented.
Trustee Griffith, seconds.
It was like a
Roll call.
roll call night.
Baron,
Yep.
Griffith.
Yes.
I'm going to give you both the treasurer's report at the same time, so you have them both.
And have you had a chance to look over the treasurer's report?
Trustee Varian moves to accept as presented.
Trustee Griffith, seconds. Roll call.
Baron.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then we are at public speaks. Eli, Mr. Bossler, welcome.
I just want to thank the street department for doing such a great job for this last storm and all the crazy weather we've had.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Bossler. That was great to hear.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awful out there, wasn't it?
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You're
And
gonna go
Kyle,
I just want to introduce Kyle. He's our new firefighter that you voted on last week.
okay.
Kyle?
Kyle Mealy.
I'm not from this area, but I'll do what I can to help this area best to my abilities.
Perfect.
That's interesting for hiring me on.
That's awesome.
Do you have any questions of us?
Nope, I think I got the gist of it from the chief here.
Yeah, looks. I understand training's coming soon.
Yes.
Great.
Starting
Wonderful. Starting tomorrow.
Oh,
Well, congratulations.
yeah,
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Appreciate you.
All right, with that, we're going to move on to the fire report, Chief Russell.
I just again wanted to introduce Kyle Maley, who started his training tomorrow morning with me. Since last Monday, we have had 15 calls, 5 ALS, 9 BLS, 1 fire-related call. It was a propane leak. And then
Did you get a call?
we did get 1 mutual aid from those medic assistant and lift assistant.
Did you bring your call report?
No, I did not.
Okay. Maybe give it to us next time?
Yes.
Okay.
The new ambulances is working well.
Yes.
There's no issues. Okay, good.
What was the one fire call then?
It was a propane leak.
Oh, propane leak. Okay.
All right. Looks like tomorrow at 6:30, we're doing ice rescue. It's still on.
Yes.
Will it still be frozen?
I sure will.
It sure will.
It should.
It sure will.
Actually, it'll probably be a better training in case
If
you have
it's
to
gonna
fall
be decent
through.
outside, it'd be better training.
Fantastic. About 10 inches of ice and it's gonna be about 40 degrees. That's perfect. So,
All right. All right, 6:30 tomorrow at Petros for fire. How long will you guys be there? Do you know?
I'm gonna guess, we're gonna do classroom for probably 30 minutes. I'm guessing probably from 8 to probably 8:30 we'll be out there.
Okay.
Or no, from, I would say 7 to 8:30, so about an hour and a half probably.
Okay. I've got you down at 6:30, so I make that 7.
I mean, if you guys are gonna come out, I would still come out there at 7 o'clock.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
So who's getting in the water?
Well,
You are.
anybody that wants to be certified in Osnaburg Township is gonna be getting.
So they're all gonna get in at some point. Okay,
So,
Wetsuits.
okay.
Okay, great. Thank you. A quick update. We went to, this past weekend, we had our training, or our association annual meeting in Columbus. And I got a chance to sit through a couple of different fire meetings, which I enjoyed. The one was all about grant writing, which I learned a lot. There's a couple grants, and I'm not going to talk about it a whole lot tonight, but there's a Bureau of Workers' Comp grant, and there's another one, which it's escaping me currently, but they talked about, it's not big ticket items, but they're kind of, if you turn it in, you get it. And so I'll be bringing that up. Talked a lot about the big grant that we're going to be writing in February, talked a lot about that. And how hard it is to get, you know, it's 325 million. And like, oh, it sounds like a big number. And then you look at how many people actually put their, yeah, it's huge. So we have to be a township of need, you know, the bigger budget townships need not apply on some of these. But it was really good. You know, the gentleman that was speaking, longtime fire chief and a grant writer himself, and talked about, you know, things to do, you know, kind of ways to write the grant, things like that. So I felt really good about it. And then the other one I went to was purchasing apparatus in the fire department, and we just went through the process of purchasing an ambulance here recently. But there's still a 4 to 5 year turnaround on a fire truck. That's still legit. So we've talked about that. Tyler's brought some fire truck things to us. So something to consider. I mean, their turnaround times don't look like they're going to go get anybody. He said 2028, you'll be able to get you'll be able to order a fire truck and see it within a year, but it's still 2 to 2.5 year turnaround for a fire truck. 30 months, 40 months. So, and the engines aren't getting any better. So something to consider when we're looking and forecasting, because, you know, used one, new one, even if we had the money and we said we want one, it might be 4 years. It's a long time. So, but the course, and then I went to other things too. But the coursework was really good. So, anything else for fire?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you.
All right, let's move on to cemetery report.
Cemetery report, we did get our bill for the open and closing of Goff at Mapleton Cemetery. The Goff family had prepaid the township for their open and closing. So there wasn't any money collected, but I did, tonight there's a payment in there of $500 to all around property.
Okay.
Other than that, Ryan Shear did not give me anything else that I could report on at this time. So.
Was all around check in that pile?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay,
And Ryan, if you hang around, I can give that to you.
Might be worth it through the board meeting.
That way,
all
he
right.
may not want it.
Thank you, Ryan, for doing such a good job.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the road report. Superintendent.
Have the trustees had a minute to look over the road report? I only have one other thing to say, a little issue that's coming up right now. I ordered salt, 300 ton of salt.
Okay.
It's a ways out.
That's what I
Okay.
thought. There's a shortage there.
And
Are they gonna guarantee
We
it at
have
some
enough
point?
for about 2 more storms, so
Okay.
I'm going to see if we can do something about maybe just getting 2 trucks delivered. Like if we can get.
Rodney, you tell the trustees what you told me. It's,
About being nice
it's
enough.
gloom, yeah, it's gloom and despair because might not be able to get any
It
salt
might not be
until
able to
March
get none
15th.
until March 16th.
Yeah.
So
So when you called and ordered 300 tons, what did they say?
I just noticed they didn't confirm it for a week.
Oh, okay.
And usually it gets confirmed like the next day. They say, hey,
Got it.
we're gonna deliver it to you. It'll be coming in the next couple of days. Well, this time I got no confirmation and I called the woman back and she was like, I said, can you give me an ETA of about when? And she's like, yeah, give me a minute. And she comes back on the line and says, March 16th.
Oh, she's
And
literally
I'm like, can we
wow.
get anything sooner, a truck or two maybe? And she goes, that you'll have to call me back tomorrow to see if something can be worked out.
Okay.
Because that's how far back everybody's wanting salt,
Yeah.
and we're that far down on the list.
Well, even if you
So-
can get one.
So you said you think we're 2 snows? We got 2 snows up there?
We got about 2 storms up there
Okay.
to go, and as soon as it warms up, I'm going to try to bust that grit pile up. And
Yeah, you're gonna have to get
I'm
more
gonna
grits
mix
in there
a
to
lot.
stretch it out.
Yeah, we might have to stretch it a little bit. Okay.
Trustees, I'm gonna intervene and just say, next year, make sure we get our load that we project, because this is what could happen.
Right.
And I know Rodney's first time going through this, it's a very stressful time when we got a salt shed up there that we could have had more salt in.
And just for the public's knowledge, the 300 ton of salt, whether it comes March 16th or later, we have to order it. It's part of what we put in our queue.
Yeah.
So it's not like we're just getting 300 ton to let sit all summer. We have to because we've put it in there. So just a heads up for that. All right.
that's all I got.
What was the temporarily fixed a set of mailboxes?
There was a string of 5 mailboxes on,
Oh, is that post that had all of them on it?
you have 2 posts, and the posts were rotted out.
Okay.
And we didn't hit them, it's just the snow, we were pushed against it, and they just fell straight back. Because the 4x4s holding 6 mailboxes were rotted out, so we went over and put like a little A-frame to hold them up, and I told, the lady that called and complained about it, I forget what her name was, but I think she was just a renter, that she needs to call and find out who's responsible for the 6 mailboxes, because there were literally 6 different houses they go to, but they were all on one board. So we made them stand back up the best we could, and the wood is pretty rotten, but nobody notices it until wintertime comes.
So when the snow melts, it'll
And the pile comes down the road.
all right.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for tell the crew the good job that they did in the weather and not detonating the equipment up. That was nice. So
Yeah.
we're good to go. All right, zoning report, Ms. Rocker.
Since the last meeting, didn't have any permits issued. I also don't have a lot of updates on anything. Paige from the health department did call me about the one on Indian Run
Mm-hmm.
with the
Yeah.
one guy. I haven't heard back from her. I gave her a call back and we just missed each other. So
Okay.
Okay. So while we're in zoning, I'll give you some of the things I went to. I moderated a zoning roundtable, which was really interesting, and I can talk to you about that later. They just talked about the issues, and we're not the only township with a tree growing up in the middle of a car. But also, we went over leveraging drones for township zoning, which is kind of interesting. And here's some new strategies for cleaning up nuisance properties. Click on that. You can go down the
There
mirror.
you go.
At some point, we're supposed to be able to get that PowerPoint electronic, which is the same thing they printed, but that is not a guarantee that that's going to happen. So that was a couple in your area that I went to,
okay.
and it was pretty interesting. Okay, anything else on zoning then?
That's all I got on there.
All right.
The reminder about that.
Yeah, so we're still on Saturday, February 28th, the governmental law seminar. Did you say you wanted to go to that, Cliff?
It's February 28th.
Yeah, it's at RG Drake.
Yeah, I can, what time?
It starts at 9:15, registration's 8:30 to 9. But Cal Stone is the keynote speaker on it. And then workshops include not just zoning, but there's one on grants and programs, one on election law, land bank, public records,
Okay.
Stark Economic
Yeah, I can,
Development Board.
February 28th, Saturday, I can go that. I should be good.
I did word the resolution that elected officials along with zoning, so any of us.
Okay.
can go to.
One on property
Just-
tax value.
I just need to know head count so I can prepare the,
So if you think you're going, both Cliff and I will go, and then
Okay.
Mary's gonna finish confirming with the
You
committee.
said Archie Drag.
RG Drake, yeah.
this is your one about the,
Okay.
and just to make sure you mention that one too.
So Stark County Regional Planning Commission, their annual dinner is March 11th at Tozie's on 12th. Give a deadline for it.
Yeah, it might be on the next page.
Oh, by March 3rd.
Yeah, March 3rd.
So by next meeting, we'll have to confirm
I think I put, what's the date of that one again?
Wednesday, March 11th.
Oh, this Wednesday.
No, March
No,
11th.
March. Thank
Yeah,
you.
March.
I have that down, regional planning.
Okay, we'll have to confirm this, because aren't you the alternate to that?
Well, and we have Lent, that's during Lent, so I have to make sure I don't have responsibilities at church. I might be leading a service.
Okay.
So I'll have to just double check with you.
So
but
Mr. Pirro is a representative, so we'll check with him for sure.
Yeah, I've gone in the past to that.
Yeah, I have to, but we'll
I'll
see.
just make sure I'm not tied up on that
So
one
can we
tonight.
just go over that again next meeting? Okay. All right, and with that, I wanted to talk a little bit under old business, the Sioux Coast Park. Did we get anything back, Brian, from the state on the signage that Otama was recommending?
No, Cliff and I got the,
We tracked the lady down.
Yeah.
We're like, remember
Oh,
us?
down there?
Yeah, I think she forgot about us. She's supposed to send some information. I think we just need to start ordering signs. I
Okay,
really
'cause
do.
I want to finish the grant. We need the signs.
Yeah,
well, the signs
So-
who she was gonna help with is like your no one beyond this point.
Yeah.
yeah, there's two parts of this. So
And then the sign that has rules of the park.
Right.
That was very crucial.
So the sign that Andy Parker is welding now, which is this big, massive
Yeah,
corner sign, that we have to use for the grant. But we're worried about the snow thawing and people being out there, and there's no trespassing signs.
Right.
There's inter
well, and I
like
needed a
that.
few of those signs
Yeah.
too.
So we're gonna get an email from her, but I think we just need to put together our list of the signs that we need and get them ordered. Dawn to dusk is a big one. No motor vehicles. I don't know how we word it, but pets only. I mean, your horse could be your pet, but
Why do we want to say pets only? That means no people?
I mean, no, but no. Well, you can't. We can't have horses running around on this.
I think we should just say no
On this.
pets.
So we're not letting dogs. There's no pets. I
We
bet
didn't
you'd have a
really
lot
I
of
like the
people.
word, we're letting pets in there, or dogs. I think.
Well, the kids talk about wanting a dog park, which would be in a
Yeah.
specific area. I don't know that you want dogs roaming the whole thing, but we never came up to any decision on anything.
So we need to get signage ordered.
Okay, that company there that I just gave you that little card on,
Mm-hmm.
they make signs that are the same as that state sign that's
That
like a
composite,
hard
yeah.
plastic that's not gonna,
Yeah.
I'm sure other places do that too.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking our sign probably needs to be,
We're at a little bit of advantage because we had such a hard winter. No one's out there, but as soon as it's nice, people will be.
yeah,
So.
which we had it closed, but that tape's gone.
Oh yeah, that was.
And so at some point, I guess we should set a date, like a park opening, something
Yeah.
like that.
Brian and I'll keep working on the signage to keep us out of court. And then we're gonna let Ben, if you guys all got that email, Ben sent an email out
Yeah,
to get the graphic sign, the artwork sign. So we'll try to get the non-fun signs ordered soon so we can put them all together.
Is there any projected time on the sign that Andy's working on? Like,
I think his frame is done or
He's-
close.
he's making it fit the 5x7, we said. He's just waiting for the
Yeah, the inside.
graphic that we want. So I didn't see a deadline on,
Yeah, it's big. Like that's somebody standing on top of the frame.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's good
well, I think
size.
he's gonna bury it a ways. isn't
Yeah,
he?
it's gonna vary it. Yep.
I didn't see a date on when that was due from the
Ben?
recommendations from the committee.
I don't know.
I'll probably see Ben in the morning and I'll ask him. So I just wanted to bring that back up so we know that we need to get that going there.
Okay.
And that's the only old business I have.
I have something else to add real quick to new business, if you don't mind.
Sure, go ahead.
One of the other classes I took was all about meetings and making sure our meetings are timely and we're not wasting people's resources. One of the things I thought was really interesting that I think we should look into was they called it a consent agenda. And what happens in the consent agenda is anything of small value as far as just getting a motion for mower blades, ambulance lights, you fill in the blank of stuff that we're going to say yes to, but we need to approve. What they do is they send out the consent agenda and there's all these things on it with invoices. And then the trustees can ask to move something out of the consent agenda to talk about it in the regular agenda, which is
Just
fine.
on all in one.
And then they
vote.
say, do you approve this consent agenda? And they say yes, and then it's done. We would knock 45 minutes off of every meeting by doing that. So,
Well, it can only be
Well,
items
you're
less than
saying of what
250.
they're asking.
well, that's our bylaws. By the state, by the Ohio Revised Code, you can $2,500.
Yeah.
By Ohio Revised Code, you can spend $10,000 without talking to us. You don't,
Yeah.
but that's a Ohio Revised Code.
Yeah.
$2,500 is a standard practice.
We have
$250 is
a
a
resolution.
small amount of money.
We have a resolution in place, it's $250,
Yeah.
that you can go up to $250.
Right.
on any of them. But you can always amend that resolution
Make it
to
higher.
affect what you're going after there.
Right.
The only thing would be then all of those requests for those items would have to be in here ahead of time. So
Mhm.
Brian would have that publicized.
Yeah, and that would be helpful for him and for all of us too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
So
want it-
they
if you
would
want it
be able to
approved,
walk
we
in
gotta
that
get it
night
in.
and say, I have
The
something.
key with the agenda, the fiscal officer has to have that ahead of time so I can see where the funds and make sure everything's available.
Sure.
So that you trustees can officially approve it.
Right.
Or I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to take some time to look
Yeah.
that over.
And we can still talk about them.
Yes.
That's fine. It's just, it's getting some of the if we said to the community, we're going to put an ambulance out of service for a light bulb, we're going to have a mutiny. So let's make that quicker. Does that make sense? We don't need to discuss small ticket items that we're going to pay for anyway. That
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense to
But
me.
that instance, because that would be more like an emergency purchase, they'd have the right to purchase it anyway.
But they only can up to $250.
Yeah.
And then we're having a meeting and having, you know what I'm saying? Like in my
But
opinion,
any fees or anything like, there's open blankets that I have, they're up to $10,000 now.
Right.
It just, I have to know that somebody
Yeah.
can't go in and say, well, we're gonna blow 10,000 on this, but I need another 10 a month from now.
Right.
It's just, you have to plan it out.
Sure,
It can't be just on the spur, so
sure.
I already have those line items ready and there are already purchase orders in there, what's called a blanket purchase order that allows the fire department or the road department in between meetings, a quick phone call to me and they just say, hey, we got this jam,
Yeah.
this problem. And I say, okay, at the next meeting, bring it. I have the funds available and then it should be
Right.
like you say, the agenda is a good idea.
Yeah.
Because it helps me prepare instead of getting blindsided at a meeting
Mhm.
and then I gotta sit here and study it a little
Yeah.
bit.
I mean, it's just something to bring to the table. It's not something we need to do now. It's just,
Well, they can actually start practicing it, trying to
Yeah.
get their purchases into Brian.
Yeah.
How many days before the meeting?
Well, if you,
Just
Okay.
to try to come up with a listing. We're gonna try it
al-
without.
always remember that you wanna get anything back up as quick as possible. So there's always what's called then and now. So if there's a breakdown, whether it's road, whether it's fire, whatever, that's available. I like to have heads up on it.
right.
You just don't want to come to a meeting and then
Yeah.
here's a bunch of invoices.
Well, the goal is that the consent agenda you would see before the meeting. So
Yeah.
you would have more of a heads up than you currently are getting.
Yeah.
So, and then I asked about the then and nows too, and the group that I was talking to, that's a pretty good sized township. They do their then and nows in that consent agenda as well. So they have to name them that, but they can do it with one motion, which I don't know if that makes it harder on the fiscal officer to break one motion up with. If there's 10 things we're buying, we can talk about it, but I wanted to just bring it up before I forgot it. 'Cause
No, you just got to be careful with it because in my fiscal office training,
Yep.
that's something that can get really out of hand real quick if you
Sure.
don't have rules and guidelines for it. So,
Do I need to say anything about this?
no, what you can, that's the ambulance, the two ambulance grants that we had back 4 years ago that started where we paid premium pay. The one was $20,000 and the other one we actually ended up receiving $5,900. The process of doing all this check and balances, they started at the end of last year. That's the official notice, and
That we're good?
Fiscal Officer Lowry, you gave us everything we need.
Correct.
So it took that long to get it.
Okay. So this is the receipt that says
Yeah.
you're legit.
Yeah, we're legit.
Great.
That they looked at all my records, how we paid the fire department back with the $20,000 of how we broke that down and made payments quarterly, how the second wave of money come in and how we did that and broke that up with all the eligible fire department.
So this says they're not gonna ask for it back.
What's that?
This says they're not gonna ask for it back, right?
Yeah.
All right, the last thing that I attended down at the state was two different courses. One was on JEDs, and that's a Joint Economic Development District, and one was on formation of either water or sewer districts. And all those have to do with annexation. And so I was gathering some information on that, so we're gonna have to start looking at some of those things
Yeah.
in the future.
And data centers are gonna be something else we're gonna be talking about. There was just a chunk of land real close to us, and part of it was in the township, but that was just annexed. Well, I don't know if the whole thing was in the township, but Kansas City's got a chunk of it, and the company that bought it is building a data center already. They're out of Dubai. Yeah, so.
And so
Coming.
that's why I went to those, because we're gonna have to talk about this pretty soon. We're gonna have to do something.
Yeah.
So we can protect our community. All right, with that, approval to pay job and family services, Brian?
Yeah, that one there was from 2025. It was something that I missed as fiscal officer. I have a lot of stuff that I'm trying to get towards the end of the year. It was a fee for the third and fourth quarter fees for the job and family service. It was total $224.81. I missed it, so they feed me, charge me. I just asked for approval to release those funds.
And what was the dollar amount?
$224.81.
Trustee Varian moves to pay job and family services $224.81.
Trustee Griffiths seconds, roll call?
Varian,
Yes.
Griffiths.
Yes.
Thank you. Could I add on the
Sure.
things that I went, being you and Cliff got to talk about at training? As a fiscal officer of the township, I try to take every class I can take when I go down to Columbus. I usually go down twice a year, but this year I'm only going to go down once for local government. But this is my chance to get a lot of training. As a fiscal officer in my term, I have to have 12 hours of fiscal integrity training per term, which don't sound like a lot, but it's 12 classes. But the other is I have to have mandatory 6 classes a year that I have to do through there. I usually, in my last term, I got over 100 hours. This term right now, I'm up to 40 hours. So I'm far exceeding what's there, but I take advantage of everything I can get to bring back here to talk about. And the classes I took this time is stuff that we're going to have to address. That I know Randy isn't here tonight, but we're going to have to make effort to get on this right away. One is cyber security training. I know we went through the anti-fraud training and ended up being an 8-minute video that everybody got back, and it worked out really good. That was a good thing. Cyber training looks like, according to the Ohio Revised Code, that the general workers, that would include fire, zoning, everybody, has to have at least 2 hours a year, 2 hours. Now, that's, don't have to be all at one time, but they haven't come out with anything etched in stone about those 2 hours yet. There has to be an administrator that has to have 15 hours and a sub-administrator that has to have 9 hours. Now, this is according to the Ohio Revised Code. So this is
Is that an
someone,
IT administrator?
what's that?
Is that an IT administrator?
No, it talks about everybody within the township. Instead of one person handling it all, and it's spread around to different people, like an administrator, like a trustee could be that. You could assign maybe sub people like a chief or assistant chief. You could do a road to superintendent, and then he works with his people on each one of these. They threw it out there as a generic way. So I went to the auditor office and talked to them because there was auditors in there. I said, how are you going to grade us on this? Well, the first year we do this, we're going to be very lenient. I said, well, I hope so, because it's going to be hard when you have the fire department. The fire department may be already training at their full-time jobs. And then you turn around, we got to say, hey, you need an additional 2 hours for us. And they brought up, well, there's different policies for theirs because it might be, I'm just throwing out Jackson, Perry, all the other townships might have different rules of what they want on their cyber training versus what we have. So it has to be something that worked on, but we have to at least have some preliminary things done by July of this year.
Okay. Was the expectation online training or in person?
Well, there is online stuff and that you can make that part of that general training.
Okay.
And we can do something like that. So, but it's something that, you know, our zoning people that only come in 4 or 5 times a year, I mentioned that in there, and it's like, they need to have something in front of them that they've signed off and completed at least a minimum of 2 hours. Now, is that mandatory by July, have the 2 hours? No, we have to have a policy that addresses it,
All right.
and then we can work on it.
Yeah, does that apply to them if they're not ever doing anything electronically?
That's the thing that I talked about, because most people use their phones, they're communicating between each other. That's where these hack jobs or cyber viruses get in, when
Okay.
people are using their
Does a
private devices in
Yeah.
here.
does a
Second.
stipend? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Second question would be particularly for the fire and EMS. Many of them are full-time other places. If they're getting that training somewhere else, can they provide those certificates here without having to redo
I
it?
asked that question and they said, that's fine if we have the same rules that we're gonna have them follow.
Our
And I
rules are gonna
thought that
be-
would be nice if we could do that or match up with somebody else.
So
Does
maybe
the-
Chief, you can collect some of that from some of the employees. If other, where they work full-time, if they're giving them those rules now, let's gather them before we put ours together and try not to duplicate.
Okay.
Brian, do the stipend folks, the zoning teams, are they considered employees? Because they're getting a stipend, they're getting their expense covered. Or not?
Say that again.
Are stipend employees considered employees? Like, would they fall into
Like
our?
zoning doesn't have withholding.
Right.
When I asked about zoning, that was like, you have to have something generalized.
Okay.
That's the generalized 2 hours of training. Now, I asked, is that a per year or per 3-year cycle? And they were very vague on it, but the high revised code, when they showed that, said 2 hours of training. So I went to the auditor people. That's who's going to audit our books and look at it. And they said, we're going to be very lenient. Well, they usually are, as long as you're making some
Depends on
effort.
which guy you get.
Yeah, it isn't like we're all going to jail if we don't do it, or somebody's going to,
Yeah.
but you get dinged if they made no effort. They didn't have nothing, so.
So
we wanted to do something.
when I was at Stark State, we were already doing that, and there's a program you can purchase that people just log in, employees log in, and you had to read the scenario, answer the questions. If you miss it, it sends you back and makes you start over, and it won't let you go forward with the correct answer without the correct answer to the next one. And you could get it in different length times. So that's just a suggestion.
On the auditor's website now, there's a cybersecurity that you can click on and watch videos. You can even make that part of it, just saying, everybody, we want you all to watch this video.
So we need to start with a policy.
Yeah.
The policy is a generic policy that we copied, and then if you remember right, that's that template we had to have in last year by a certain date. Then that policy rolls into, okay, what are you going to do now about that policy? And, it's like, I don't want to keep kicking the can down the road and wait till July, and then when you don't have nothing, I want to be working on something that we can at least be approaching this in a way of being proactive on it. At least have something in place.
I say we definitely look at all the auditors stuff that we could get for free.
And the auditor stuff does have on their website, you can go on the learn area and different things they do offer. Those tutorials, I don't even say that right, but you can get on there and look at that kind of stuff, and you can make that part of the policy. Now,
It's hard to make zoning people who only get paid $20 or $30
Well,
to do
that's
that.
where maybe we go in and say these people only work less than a few hours a year. But we have something that we wrote up as a
General.
sub that and I'm not picking on you, Mary, but Mary, because you interact with them, maybe Mary talks to them for 15 minutes for one meeting a year and we just write that up.
Yeah.
You know, it's
But
something like
she
that.
could do it here for them on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing, I didn't mean to talk that long on it, but it's something we need to address. This will actually really pertain to the fire department, is we have a capital fund in place that has $230,000 in it. Now, I know we talked and Tyler spent time and the chief, different people have spent time on looking at, the possible cost of a new fire truck and things like that. Well, I want you to know that one of the big things I went to this class that was really intense on planning out the budget. As a fiscal officer, I have to answer to the county auditor's office yearly budgets. So they're only looking at a year. I always look at 3 and 5 and out. Well, one of the things I knew, the capital fund for the fire truck that we had started in 2013, when I started here, you can know we're at 2026. Well, that is a 10-year cycle. We have to do something with that. That don't mean we just blow it. We have to do a process that we have to do a number of things. The $230,000, where did it come from? It originally came out of the fire fund and little bits and pieces over the years, like 10,000 here, 20,000 there, came out of some soft billing. I have a track record of all that, but that money, because we did not use it for the purpose it originally was meant to be, to buy a fire truck, because we couldn't add to that money at that time, it has to be put back in the funds that originally come out of. Then a new reserve has to be set up by me with the board approval to say, okay, we're going to put that 230 back in that reserve, which is a new capital fund.
Mhm.
But now we're going to budget in to put 50,000, I'm just going to use that as an example, $50,000 a year out of the fire soft billing fund every year to build that up to get the goal of what a fire truck is. Well, we all know a fire truck, when I started, 2013, the estimates were anywhere from $500,000 to $750,000. Now we know a fire truck is $750,000 to $1 million. Well, what's going to happen if we start another fund like that and over 10 years and we have, say, $750,000, but now a new fire truck is $1.5 million?
Mhm.
We're going to be in the same boat. So there has to be something planned out that I can work off of the trustees. If something happens to me, I want to carry on, that we have something in the future for that equipment.
So Brian, what do you need to do to close the capital fund and
It
reopen
has to
a new
be
one?
done by a judge. I have to get the judge under
Under our motion?
Yes.
Our
a
resolution?
judge has to look it over and say, okay, fiscal officer Lauer, this money was put in there for that fire truck. Why didn't you get it? Well, we weren't able to put additional
Enough in
funds
there,
in
right.
because we were running very
Okay.
tight in the fire department for
Okay.
these years until the levy passed. The levy isn't really going to accommodate $70,000, $80,000 being pulled away from it.
Sure.
Soft billing could, because originally when I wrote that budget, I felt we could use soft billing in combination to build up $70,000, $80,000 a year to build that up. So first, you have to do a resolution to get it in action. The next step is it has to go in front of a judge.
Let's do that first step tonight then.
Well,
Is that what you're looking to
I
do?
think you need Randy here because I would like to look into I want to make sure I have the steps right. Because once you get the step that I go in front of a judge to ask for this approval, to get his blessing, then I got to go to local government, state auditor, and back. And that money has to physically go back in the fire fund
Yeah, right.
where it came out of. Then under resolutions, that's where you all have to make some additional resolution to get it back in what's called a reserve account. The reserve account, then I have to give and get certified. There's a lot of steps that has to be done.
So Brian, what you're saying is when you sit in front of the judge and you say, I want to make this 230 come out of a capital fund and close it, I want to reopen a new capital fund. The judge is going to say, okay, what's your plan? he or she is not gonna say, sure, open another 200,
Yeah.
just put it back in another
They want to
capital.
know
They're gonna
why,
wanna know what
the
the,
history. They
Yeah.
want to know the
Right.
history.
and
But
what
going
the
forward-
plan is moving forward.
Yeah, we
Okay.
could say that
All right.
we, passed a levy to help supplement the wages. And so we can show that we're trying to create a pathway of getting more money to go into that fund.
They'll also want a budget wrote out, a 10-year plan. And we've never done that. I've done it, but we've never really done that.
Well, and I think it's fair to say to a judge with a department that's our size and a township that's our size, it's probably fair to say to the judge, our expectation is to try to get some grant money to help us. And this is gonna be our offset money.
That was
They're gonna
brought-
have us come to the table with something.
That was brought up
You know,
because you
I
could
mean, we're
always
not
throw a
gonna-
grant in there and get
Yeah,
a matching grant or something. Say you
I
had
would
a
say
half
to the
a million,
judge,
you
this
get
is
that.
this is our fund money when the grant says you gotta cover 25% of this or 30% of this. This is the money we're gonna use for that.
Yeah.
Because the reality is putting 30, 40 grand in a year, we're far, far away from enough, right?
That's
So, but if we have a plan to put 30 or 40 grand a year in, then it'll start to build.
the other avenue, when I talked to some of the other fiscal officers and some of the bigger townships that were down there, they said, you work out, I know Tyler spent the time with getting prices. You get the price. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tyler, like if we didn't go with something that was already there and we had to go buy something new, it was like, what, a year, half of a wait time. You go and you put that in front of the voters and just put a levy on just for that fire truck.
Just for the piece of
Just,
equipment.
and you put it in front of them and you say, this is what we're going to need in the future to replace our
Okay.
older stuff. So you don't want to, I just know that as a fiscal officer, I got to do something with that $230,000 because right now I'm past that 10-year window.
All right.
I'm into 12 years going into 13
Well, we're not
years.
gonna make a motion tonight. Let's wait and bring Randy in on the conversation. And then, I think too, we talked to our fire department, on the cyber side, because we're all working A jobs.
Yeah.
And not to say that we're gonna piggyback off a bigger township or city, but maybe we do. Maybe we look at their training and get involved that way, because we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We're not the only people having to worry about cyber training.
Yeah.
So,
And I know there's one other class that I took that has marketing studies that, let's say, for example, I'm going to use the fire department. They'll actually do the analysis. It might be $2,000 or $3,000 because if you do a whole township, it's $7,000, $8,000. But if you do like an analysis where they actually can give you figures over a 10-year window of time, they can do it, which now you can go to your residents. You can show people it isn't something we just pulled out out in the air here and said, okay, this is what we need. That this is a document that's been researched and proven. You can do the same thing with the road department. You can do the same thing with anything we need in a big expense. But there's companies out there that will help you do that, which then gives you more power when you go, if you do put a levy on, you have something in front of the people that they can look at and ask questions about. Just, I do not know all this as fiscal officer. What I try to do is follow all the rules that are set forth to follow and bring it to you as a board, and then you guys help me with getting this done. I just know it's something I can't keep kicking a can down the road. We got to do something.
Resolve that here. Thank you very much, Brian.
Okay.
A couple of things, Mary, of those papers I gave you, look on the back or somewhere. Was there a business card stapled on one of those? One of the booths I visited in the trade show was American Landfill was there,
they were there.
and the community person from there. And so I said it's a long time since the trustees have been up, and they do have property in our township. So she said they would give us a site visit tour.
Oh.
Once we get to spring here and the weather breaks. She's their community relations person.
I'd like to see that.
And so I told her we wanted to take that tour.
Yeah.
So can you maybe later, when the weather breaks here, set that tour up? You can tell her that I met her down there. So she said she would do that. The other thing I want to remind everyone, next meeting, which is, what's the date on that?
23rd.
23rd, is also at 6:30. We're having a retirement celebration for Sue Piro and Mr. Stu Unkefer. We need to make sure we let Stu know that. Ronnie, do you talk to him at all?
I'll call Stu.
You call
Yeah.
Stu?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
call Stu. He's gonna be, I'm busy.
Yeah, and then will you,
I'll call Stu on the way
whoever
home.
talks to Randy, remind him, wasn't he ordering the cake? for
Randy's
that?
ordering the cake.
Okay.
He's ordering both, and I'm gonna pay him for the one. That was
Okay,
the
and then I'm
plan.
gonna take care of getting water and snacks, and Brian,
Christie's doing all the
we were
work.
supposed to order paper products.
I got that taken care of. It isn't
Okay.
for order, I'm just going to get them.
Okay, and then did we say we were doing the coffee here? Do we have coffee to run through the thing for somebody? But we didn't have cups. Sure, we didn't
We've
have
got,
cups.
I
Okay,
got them covered
so
there.
make sure we got it all covered.
I don't want to see
So
anybody drink coffee out of their
6:30
hand.
next, in 2 weeks, if you want to celebrate, come on out. And anyone in the township, we'd love to have you. Anything else?
I'd like to move to adjourn and pay bills.
Griffith will second, roll call.
Varian
Yes.
and Griffith.
Yes. Thank you all
Thanks,
for
you guys.
attending. Just think cake next meeting.
That's right.
I can see Randy forgetting that.
No, I'll message him this week.
Did you see that business card on there? If you look on their website,